Cyberlink PowerDirector. We're going to show you a great tool you can use to take some segments, one or more, out of a piece of raw video and isolate them to use in your current project or a future project. This uses a tool that's often overlooked called Precut. We have another tool that we had a tutorial about that is scene detection. And Precut does everything that scene detection does, but I think better. So let me show you how the tool works. So let's assume we have a piece of footage like this one. Now this is a bad piece of footage deliberately. We took the camera and we shot this field in the winter, and then we move the camera over and it flips over to a parking lot. It moves to more cars in the parking lot, goes back to trees on the other side of the field, zips over to the parking lot again, isolates on the shed, and winds up where it started. But let's assume there are some parts of this for some odd reason I want to use. Now normally what we would do is we'd take the clip, move it to the timeline, and then we'll go to a scene by taking our scrubber or time detector and move over here, and maybe that's one scene. I'll do Control T to split it. And then we move over here, and we really didn't want that other part, so we'll split it here with a Control T. We move over here, and we'll split it where the trees start. And then we'll stop it over here. And we move back over here, we'll cut it there. And then we'll cut it here. And then we can just take out the parts that we don't want. Maybe that one I don't want, and that one I don't want. And we can do it, but it's messy. So let's take all of this out and show you how to do the same thing with Precut, which is much more effective. So I have my video here. I don't go to the timeline at all. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to choose Precut tool. Now Precut comes in two forms. It comes single trim or multi-trim. Let's assume there's only one segment in this video of the whole video I want to use. Then I want to be in single trim mode. So in order to do that, all I need to do is move to the place I want to go. Let's say I want just to highlight the vehicles over here, and I can use my comma key to move back a frame at a time, my period key to move forward a frame at a time, or I can actually click on the time code down here to control the time that I'm at. And you notice it will show my in position, out position, and duration. So let's move back right to here, and I can mark in. I can click on this as my mark in, or I can press the I key on the keyboard for my shortcut. And then let's see, I want to just zip over here, and so before it starts moving back, I'm going to use the comma key to move back so I don't get a blurry shot there. We'll stop right there. And I'll do O for out, or I can click on the icon here. So now I have the duration. It's 9 seconds and 19 frames. Again, I can change that. I can change my in position and out position by using these sliders here that actually serve the same as moving these little yellow markers. So if I wanted exactly, say, 19 and 15 frames, and now it's 1915. There's my start frame, there's my end frame. I get to see both of them. So this is giving me a lot of precision. Now we have a lock here to say I want one that's only 9 seconds and 15 frames long. If I click the lock, I can then take this and move this anywhere in the video, and I'll take that same segment and it will give me a new in frame and out, in and out. And I will see how it looks. Here's my original, here's my output. If I click on original and play it, I'm going to see and hear the segment. But notice I'll see everything else. It's going way beyond the segment. If I click on output and play it, it will confine me only to the segment. That's the difference between original and output. It stops there. So if I want to play, I can play either the selected segment or the output. So I'm going to click on trim. And what happened? If If I look in my media room, I see I have my precut. It's called Precut 1. And I can change it to an alias if I want to. And then I have this shaded box with the up arrow. That takes me back to the core of my media room. Now the media room shows me that same video, but now I have this little folder at the lower right which shows me that this has been precut. If I click on there, I can see one or more of the precuts. In this case, I have one. I'll click back here, and I can actually use this video like I would normally. I can drag the whole thing down, and I will see everything in this goofy little video of mine. Everything is there, or I can just click on the folder and drag in the precut, and I see my short amount that I thought, this is the best part. I want to use this in this video or another one. Now here's a great advantage of this. I've pre-cut this one, and let's assume I'm editing months from now. I'm going to delete it, and then I'll open it up again and click here. I just brought it back in, but notice it remembered the pre-cut. It remembered exactly what I did. Now if I want to pre-cut it differently, all I need to do is right click on it again, click on my precut tool, and I can go back and precut that out or something else out. But the nice thing is, if I precut it the way I want, I've edited, I've said this is what's good, this is what's bad about this video, it gives me that option. Now let me give you something that I work in more than precut. It's multi-trim. I'm going to click on the multi-trim tab. Now the multi-trim tab says there might be more than one segment I want to use in this particular video. I'm going to take this precut and put it in the trash here. So now it allows me to take several things out of the video, and I can use as many segments as I want. But there's other things I can do here. It's a little more complicated view, and let me explain that. We have this panel here that defaults to 10 seconds. It gives me, notice the time codes here are all 10 seconds apart below the thumbnails. So that's my 10-second item. I can change that, and if I magnify it, it does inverse of what I think, it shrinks it. If I click the plus, now there are 5 seconds between the thumbnails. And I can click again, and it goes down to 1 second. Then it goes down to 5 frames, and it goes down to 1 frame. So I can isolate exactly where I want this to start and stop by using these as well. I'm not limited simply by using wherever I have the cursor here on the screen. The other thing I can do is I can say, well, you know, I don't want these to be 1 second apart. I want 2. Well, if I click here, I don't have 2, but you can make it that way because we're going to take this little blue rectangle, drag on the right, and when I drag, notice it says 1 second below. As I drag, it's going to change. So I can set it to anything I want. Let's set it to 2 seconds. And now these are 2 seconds apart. So if I want to make sure I'm very tight on the timing of the frames that I use for my segment start and segment end, that's what this is all about. And again, I can move this anywhere in my video from the first frame to the last frame. And we can click through them this way as well. So we have all kinds of options when it comes to this. Now another thing that's really great about Precut and the multi-trim is with multi-trim I might think, you know, the whole video is good, but I've got one section that's not good, it's bad. So let's see how we cut in and out with multi-trim. Let's say I want to start on this frame here, or this frame here. Now again, I can use a slider to drag wherever I want, or I can use a thumbnail, or I can use this slider, which is the same. Let's say we want to start here. So I'm going to do a cut. So I click the mark in, or I can press the I key on the keyboard, same thing. It gives me this marker. Then I'm going to move over. Let's say I want to move here or here. Let's move there. And this is the mark out, or O for out. Now I have my segment. Let's assume I want another segment in this that I think is good for this video or another project in the future. So we're going to go a ways over, and let's take this one here, and I'm going to do another mark in, and we'll move to, say, this frame here. I want this one. Well, again, I can use this to adjust it any way I want, and I'll do a mark out, And now I have a second segment. So now I have two that I can use. So that gives me the ability to pick and choose the best parts that I want. Now let's assume instead of good parts, I've chosen bad parts. I've chosen the stuff that's pure garbage in my raw videos. That this segment is no good, this segment is no good, I don't think I ever want to use it. That's when I can use this double arrow here, invert trim results. If I click on this, now it inverted those segments. This one is bad, this one is bad. These three now are good. So I've cut the good stuff out by marking the bad stuff and clicking the invert button. That's really nice. And this button here you might be curious about. It takes you to scene detection. I have never used it because I think it's an inferior tool. So we've got these segments, and all I have to do is click on trim. And now when I go into my media room, I have my subfolder, and now I have Precut 1, 2, and 3, and I can use any one or all of them in my project simply by dragging them down like I did before, putting them on the timeline. Again, I can go back to the original. It tells me this is Precut. So if I delete this and bring it back in like I did before, it would bring it back exactly precut the way it was. So if I precut my videos, when I bring them into a project for the first time, at least to get the garbage out of them, it saves me a lot of editing time both now and in the future when I'm working in PowerDirector. So I would encourage you to use this tool rather than to cut things apart on the timeline. It's a lot more effective, it's a lot more precise, and it gives you the ability to edit now and for the future whenever you use that raw footage again in CyberLink PowerDirector.